Hello and welcome to Xinhua Live Report from Moscow, Russia. My name is Anastasia Osipova. Today, China Railway Corporation is just about to complete shield-driven tunneling at the Michurinsky Prospect metro station. This metro station is actually one of the 3 metro stations that are being built in Moscow by Chinese CRCC. All of them belong to the southwest section of Moscow Third Transfer Ring, one of the most promising infrastructural projects of the capital. This Moscow Third Transfer Ring is going to be the world's longest, and its length is about 70 kilometers, with 31 stations located on it. Actually, this is the first time in history of Russia when a foreign company is involved into the construction of Moscow Metro. And of course, it is the first time when the Chinese company built metro tunnel in Europe. And our expert today is Alexander Kolomeitsev. Hello, Alexander. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Hello.
Thank you again. So, you have been working for CRCC for 2 years, and you know everything about this place and tunnels.
Yes.
Tell us, please, why is this event so significant?
Oh, as you said before, this is first time when some foreign company building metro in Moscow. So it's really important moment, not just for construction, it's also really important moment for both of our countries. So that's why we are really happy that we show good work, good communication, and everybody happy that we show these good results.
And in your opinion, how hard was for you to work here? How can you evaluate this project?
I cannot say that it was hard. It was really interesting because when you are responsible for 100 or 200 workers from different countries, it's real interesting because you need to understand every people, what they actually want, how they're thinking, and help to them understand our rules which we are using in our construction.
But you know, it seems to be a bit hard because there is a language barrier, different cultures. How do Russians and Chinese cooperate here?
Everything depends on the people, but everybody understanding that we need to help each other. So our workers communicate good, they're helping each other, and they're showing what they know, what everybody other know, and in the end we have a good work.
Alexander, tell us please, so what inspired personally you to come here? Because this is not a Russian company, this is Chinese, China Railway Corporation.
For me, there is 2 most important things. One of them that it's an international experience of working to see how a Chinese company organize all work, how they're using their engineers, what they know, and also I was really interested about their equipment because both of the TBMs, all 5 TBMs which came here in Russia, they made by CRCC in China.
And how did it happen? Was there some special order or some special request? I mean, why did we have to wait for the machines from China? How about Russian machines?
Actually, we don't have Russian TBMs. We are not producing them in Russia. Before that, I worked in German and Canadian, also French machines. And it's the first time when I work on the Chinese TBM.
And how do you estimate the quality of Chinese equipment? Which characteristics impressed you most of all?
I cannot say that there is a huge difference. Every TBM made for special projects, and they have their special tiny things and engineer decision. But what's I really impressed more that they take a lot of different technology, which I've seen before in different TBMs, but they took all them together on the one TBM. And as we can see during this tunneling, Chinese workers show that the speed of working is awesome because they show some records and nobody can build the tunnels so fast as Chinese workers showed.
So, as for machines, are they kind of robots?
It's all together because it's not completely automated. Still, a lot of people working there and control all the process. But nowadays, people are not working by the hands. They most working by some small robots and something like this.
You know, these days there is a funny story in Russian media that these machines got Russian names. So, how did it happen and why?
We have a real old tradition that all TBMs have the woman names. Sometimes the head of the company named it by their wives, their daughters, or something like this. But when 5 TBMs came to the China, our bosses take a decision to give them the names of 5 daughters from one Russian serial, and it's named like father-daughters. There is 5 daughters, 5 TBMs, and each of them have one of the name.
Oh, that's very interesting. So, what does your girlfriend or your wife think about your work with Daria, Evgenia, as far as I remember their names?
Yeah, there was one funny story in my previous company that the name of my TVM was the same name of my girlfriend. And usually then somebody called me from the TBM on my phone, there was the name of my girlfriend. And then she found out this first one, she said, who is it calling here? But I show you and explain that it's just my work.
And did she believe?
Actually, yeah, because I give her a phone, she talked with some workers and she understands that it's not my other girlfriend or something like this.
You know, that's a very dangerous, in my opinion, tradition, but still it's very funny, of course, it's very funny. And can you say, how about any records beaten these days or during this period while you have been working here?
Actually, there are some records beaten by the shift, so one shift worker showed the good speed, but in the total there is a lot of other things which sometimes stop our work and we cannot show the maximum of our speed. So in the total we build the whole tunnel in the normal time. But if we compare by the days, there was a good record. So now we are preparing some other tunnels in the future, especially for this TBM, and there we are going to show the maximum what we can.
You know, TBM seems to be a very complicated machine. Can you briefly explain how it works or how it goes? Because as for the audience, you know, it's just a machine which goes through a tunnel. Is that all?
Actually, if you want to explain for just normal, regular people who know nothing about the tunneling, the best way to say that this is a machine which builds tunnels. All other specific, that interesting that TBM not just excavating the soil, it's also build the tunnel, collect the rings, and do, I don't know, 20, 30 different process which we need to finish. Because in the past it was the separate work, but now because of these TBMs we can make everything in the same time.
That's impressive. That's impressive. And I have a question about One Belt, One Road initiative. You know, it's also a giant project, infrastructural project. It involves all kinds of transportation projects which are implemented in Russia as well. So what do you think about the prospects and your just impression about this initiative?
It's a real important project for not just our countries, I mean Russia and China. I think it will involve a lot of different countries, and for me, like just for me, for myself, the most important thing in this project that companies start working all together. And also here, during these 2 years, I've seen a lot of communication between workers, between engineers, and for me, most important thing that some of my engineers who are working on my site, now they're going to China and they're not just going there to the country, they're going to visit some new friends which they made here during this work. Also, during that time, I take a lot of guys from my work I mean Chinese engineers and workers, invite them to my place, show them some Russian tradition, and it's good. I think then we need to build good relationship, not just between the countries. For me, I repeat, the most important, the good relationship need to be built between the people.
And do you think this kind of project involving construction of Moscow Metro can be a real example of friendship between the two countries? What do you think?
Yeah, it not can be. It's already one of the best way to show. And for example, now when I'm trying to find some people to my site, I'm going to employ them. A lot of the people want to work in this company because it's not just regular construction, it's something more, and it's a really important thing.
And how about your career prospects? Would you like to go to China and try maybe to work there as an engineer?
Yeah, I already talked with some of our bosses, and we discussed that maybe one day I can go there, not for the work, but just for some excursion, something like this. And I really want. Also, I have in my mind some ideas about my future education. Maybe when we will finish this project, I'll go to China to have some engineering education.
Good luck for you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks a lot.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. And that was all for today. It was live report from Moscow, Russia. It was brought up by me, Anastasia Osipova. In the meantime, stay tuned with us and follow us on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube.